Welcome to Empowered. I'm your host, Jessica Flynn of thejessicaflynn.com, and our show is on a mission to unleash local wisdom for widespread impact. We're committed to inspiring positive change and empowerment in our community and beyond. Joining us today is a speaking and presentation expert who empowers business professionals by helping them elevate their communication and presentation skills to new heights. Joseph Spitale is the founder and head coach of Nail It Public Speaking. For over 20 years, Joseph has captivated audiences across the globe, speaking at seminars, national sales conferences, and high-profile tourist attractions, as well as emceeing events like gala fundraisers and weddings. Beginning as a classical singer, Joseph quickly entered the spotlight as the host of daily shows aboard Princess Cruises, and his talent then took him to Tokyo Disneyland, where he dazzled thousands performing main stage. Today, Joseph is the vocal coach behind the JUNO-nominated girl group Girl Power and has trained national champions in speech, arts, and drama. Joseph's expertise is sought after by major corporations such as Medline, Mark Anthony Group, and the Canadian Professional Sales Association, where he leads seminars on presentation skills. And now he's going to critique my presentation skills. So we have the opportunity to learn from Joseph, an amazing coach and speaker, over the next half hour. So let's dive in and welcome Joseph Spitale. Joseph, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, and you're doing a great job.
Oh, I stumbled. I tried to get through it. I always joke my dream one day is to have a teleprompter.
Oh, well, you kept going, that's it. That's all it is, right?
Okay, I get a check mark. So the reason I thought it would be so valuable to have you on our show and to share you with all of our viewers up in the region is because it never ceases to amaze me how my theater background and performance art background has served me in business and in life and social situations. I think teaching public speaking is not as common as it should be. And what have you seen with the work that you've empowered business owners and students? How does public speaking and communication change lives?
Yeah, to quote William Shakespeare, all the world's a stage, right?
Right.
So we're learning these foundations as kids and as teenagers, or sometimes we go down to university and we're taking theater programs, and it really does set us up for success in life. Mm-hmm. If you're in dance when you're a kid as well, you're on stage, you're in front of people, you feel the lights, you feel the idea of performance. That preparation backstage is also important because it's the same with presentation skills. It's the same with interviews. We can apply it to a sales pitch in business as well.
Absolutely. It's sales pitching. It's your elevator pitch for your own personal brand. It's interviewing for jobs. It's interviewing potential people to work for you and having the confidence that you're going to be able to lead them. So I'm just so excited to dive into some of this content and learn. But let's start at your beginning. So you studied classic voice.
Yes.
And then one of your first big gigs in public speaking was working for Princess Cruises. Can you tell us about that?
Of course. When I first got in there, I was hosting shows like karaoke competitions, for example.
Okay, fun.
And it was a lot of fun, and I loved that because I was a singer too.
Yes.
But I thought I was so good. I was like just introducing people, introducing the songs, having a good time. But it wasn't until I was doing daily shows for a year that I looked back at myself and I thought, wow, I was so fresh. and
how so? How so?
I learned just so much by watching so many other people and their tips, their tricks, analyzing their body language, their vocal inflections, just interacting with the audience. It's not just you speaking, but it's a conversation in a way with the audience by reading the audience and responding to that audience. And that really took time to learn.
Right, right. And also I would imagine doing something like that with such high energy every day. I mean, you are there every day for a year, but the guests are only there for a week. So it's got to feel fresh and new for them, right? So what were some of the tricks you had up your sleeve for that, bringing that energy when you're not always feeling it?
I mean, bringing it back also to what you were talking about in business, we need this energy too. Sometimes you're just not feeling it, right? Yeah. And you got to get up there and you have to perform. And that's what I had to do. When you have show after show every night, you got to find ways to find it fresh. You got to find ways to have fun, you know, do little things for yourself to get the energy up. If I'm feeling, I should say, a little bit tired, I'll go to the gym just before, or I'll do some jumping jacks before I go on stage, or I'll just find something in the script to say it in slightly a little different way, to surprise my co-host, to make them laugh.
Right.
And I get so much joy out of that, I can't tell you.
Oh no, what's going to happen today on
Tonight, I won't try to make you laugh, although I already have.
There we go. And so you started in kind of, I guess, the tourism industry, and then you were discovered and had this opportunity in Tokyo, and were performing at Disney. So tell us about that experience, and what did you learn in that particular environment that served you?
Talk about performance after performance after performance. I think I did almost 800 performances of the same show, main stage, starring at Tokyo Disneyland. And so that was quite the experience. And there is an element of vocal health and stamina that you'd have to keep up with in order to be able to perform like that over and over again. Keeping it fresh is a big part of it, of course, but keeping your body healthy overall was a huge part of that as well. It cumulatively over time can be quite taxing. It's never the first 10 performances. It's the 50th performance that you probably should have drank a little more water and a little less coffee.
I think of these big performers in Vegas who have like a Vegas stint for, I don't know how long Celine Dion did her stint, but like years and years and years. So such professionalism, but we can bring that, I think, your experience you inject into your coaching and make it relevant to day-to-day life for people.
I find it really empowering to see the transformations that I have seen. I've seen some people come in that are quite nervous, quite scared of public speaking, and then they have an amazing conversation with me about, you know, their opinions and their thoughts about the message that they want to deliver. And I say to them, this is what you need to do on the stage. So sometimes we have these blockages that we just need to get through.
So it's also this mindset that what you have to say is valuable and worth sharing.
It is so valuable. I think there's so many people that are amazing communicators that are all saying similar messages. And I think there are a lot of people out there that deserve a voice, that have things to say, that need that opportunity to get their confidence there so that they can actually deliver a different message that, from what we're hearing all around us all the time.
That is very empowering. And I think as someone with a performance background, I took for granted the confidence that I have to share my voice and my ideas, but so many people, even in my life, just don't have the comfort within their own skin, within, you know, up here to take that risk and learn this new skill that will really serve them well down the long run.
Yeah, we all want to hear those unique stories,
Absolutely.
Right? And they may not be, they may not feel like they're the right person to communicate it, but they are the best person to communicate it because they've experienced it themselves. It's their story.
Yeah,
exactly.
So before we cut to the break, can you take us through some of the types of clients you work with? I have here anyone from a student to a mother of the bride to people in business and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we all know that student that comes home from school and you ask them, how was your day? And they say, it was fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I want to encourage these kids to tell stories because they're gonna need to tell a story, whether it be an interview in the future or, you know, telling a story within a presentation at school. These stories and being a captivating storyteller will help them at school. It'll help them with future jobs. It'll help them make friends as well.
Right. Yes.
They go to a party. They need to be able to
Social
share
confidence.
things. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, you know, I've got these business professionals. There's these people that are working on sales calls, for example. They're given a script and they just sound a little robotic, and they have to have these sort of targets, these structures that they have to follow, but it doesn't resonate like a real conversation.
Right.
So it's about teaching them how to be able to be purposeful and to communicate in a way where they're adding value to the conversation in sales calls.
And maybe enjoying their job a little bit more.
100%. Everybody wants to have a real conversation, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And close those deals. Yeah.
Exactly. Then there's the entrepreneur that wants to put together a webinar, for example, and they have all of these ideas, right? And they really need me to help them focus on one message. Yeah, and they are the right messenger, but they really need someone who's going to polish it up and have that extra sort of ear to figure out if that's going to really play, or maybe this is going to be too advanced for your audience.
Right. I had another professional speaking coach say to me once, we have the burden of knowledge. And so as an entrepreneur, you know everything about your business. And we don't realize when we go to share our business that there's so many missing pieces. We've left so much out, or we're completely overwhelming our audience. We want to share everything all at once. So this is something that I am myself committing to continuing to refine, and having an outside ear would be invaluable for those situations.
Absolutely, for sure. You know, I had also this woman who was working on a wedding speech for her daughter's wedding that's this month, actually. And
congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. And she was an amazing speaker. And I thought at first, like, how am I going to help this woman? She seemed so confident, great speaker, very articulate. But what her problem was getting through the emotions. And so we really got through the nitty-gritty of that. And actually, she was able to release these emotions in a safe space in this coaching sessions. And I coached her with how these emotions are actually great. That's what we want in a speech. It's better to have an emotion-filled speech than one that had no emotion at all.
Right.
So it's about managing those emotions in that moment. And so I gave her some tools for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. After the break, we're going to come back with Joseph to see the trends that he's seeing in public speaking, as well as dive into some of the nitty-gritty activities we can try at home to improve our public speaking and presentation skills. So be sure to join us after the break on Empowered with your host, Jessica Flynn. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm your host, Jessica Flynn, and today we are speaking to Joseph Spitale, the founder and head coach at Nail It Public Speaking. And Joseph, you're going to take us through some of the trends you're seeing in public speaking.
Absolutely. The first of which is authenticity. Be you. Now more than ever are people embracing that you don't have to look like, you know, the decades of speakers that we've seen on stage and try to copy them exactly. I do think that if you speak in a certain way with an inflection, you know, local regionalisms, for example, if your hair is a little bit different than conventions. Your outfit's a little bit different. You still want to be appropriate for the occasion, but really being you will shine through. And I really think that will help you feel more comfortable, and it's received better. Your authentic self really does shine through on the other end, and people can pick up on that.
Yeah, and do you think part of that is with technology and social media, our audiences can be so much bigger. And so we're not just reaching people at wedding venues or at conferences, we're now speaking to people in their homes.
Absolutely. Like, so you'll get that doctor on TikTok that doesn't feel like they need to be in a studio to be respected.
Yeah.
They can literally put their phone up and talk while they're taking a run or a walk and talk about the latest health issue, and people are still respecting them in that environment. So things are changing.
Right. You can still have authority, but they're professional, but taking us on the ride of this learning journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what else? So trends in public speaking, we've got authenticity.
Yeah, there's two more I want to take you through. The second one is AI. Everyone's talking about AI.
We have to talk about AI.
And what everyone is talking about right now is how you can take like a document and then use AI to create a presentation slideshow deck automatically. And that can save so much time. Of course, you're going to have to edit it afterwards and make sure it's on brand and whatnot. But this is something that I know some of the largest hotels are using for their training programs.
Interesting.
So it's saving a lot of time, but also integrating images, AI videos that are very lifelike, that can really get people into the world of what you're talking about and visually show a vision of what you're trying to talk about as well.
This appealing to all sorts of learning styles and learning types, we now have the tools to help us, whether they're kinesthetic learners and the AI can offer some, tactile activities, or the visuals. It's a great point.
Yeah, and imagine you're in a training session, for example, and you're trying to train someone on how to do something in the workplace. Well, showing an animation that's generated by AI can really show that. It's more engaging as well.
Maybe with newcomers to Canada or variations in language as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, that's great. Making it accessible for everyone is super important. Yeah.
So we've got authenticity, we have AI.
And the last one is with a lot of these online presentations, these webinars, a lot of people are getting bored.
We have so many Zoom meetings now.
They're stuck in back-to-back Zoom meetings and they feel a little bored. A lot of people are multitasking when they're supposed to be paying attention on the webinar that's at hand.
Yeah.
And so what we can do to combat that is more Q&A sessions, more asking polls, more bringing the audience involved and not assuming that you know what they are thinking, but asking them what they're thinking and then delivering that information so we can all know that we're on the same page or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used some of these tools. So I was coaching youth as young as 10 this summer.
Yeah.
Online. So imagine 10-year-olds, a bright sunny day in their summer, and they're hanging out with me online. But they did such a great job. Cameras on was a rule of ours. They were allowed to use all the emojis they wanted in the reactions and constantly checking in, asking questions. Can someone put this in their own words for me? Or can someone, rather than me reviewing what we learned last week, can the group come together and really, so they came in there knowing that it was a safe environment because there's picking on people that are uncomfortable, and then there's setting the expectation that there's going to be participation.
Yeah, and I think like holding people accountable too, to make sure they're paying attention by having those cameras on is so important.
Yeah.
The research is showing that we want to make online conversations as similar to in-person conversations as possible. So looking at that camera really does give that feeling of connection that we're craving so much when we're at home.
Yeah, for sure. So before, can we dive into some of these? What can we do at home? Teach us, train us. What can we do?
Okay, I came with 2 examples of
Okay.
things that we can do. The first, I'm going to need your help with.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, can you just think of a sentence that we can use to start out with?
Yes, I have it.
What is it?
I'm going to use one of the intro sentences. So we're committed to inspiring positive change.
We're committed to inspiring positive change.
Yes.
Now, can you just say that very sort of flat, all kind of on one note?
We're committed to inspiring positive change.
Not so inspiring.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
Now, one thing that you can do, and you can try this at home too, is try to use more high-pitched sounds in your voice and low-pitched sounds in your voice throughout the sentence. So try the sentence again,
Okay.
and you can try this at home too.
And I'm going to look at the camera. I'm practicing. We're committed to inspiring positive change.
That was great.
new. Okay.
What if you did it even more, like a news announcer going
Ooh.
up and down? Try even more.
Okay. This is fun.
We're
We're committed to inspiring positive change.
Yeah, fantastic. That
Okay.
change is so much more
That was so much more fun to
engaging.
say, too.
It's more fun, it's more animated, it keeps people's attention for
Yeah.
sure.
So trying what you're going to say in your presentation a few different ways to see what feels fun and comfortable.
Exactly, trying different inflections, bringing out certain words more that you think will hammer in a point will be really helpful.
Okay.
Okay, and my second tip. A lot of people ask me how to get over your fear of public speaking.
I used to have that voice that would shake because I wouldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like athletes, a lot of them are using visualization techniques. And what they're doing is they're trying to visualize them doing the game or winning the game. They're trying to visualize what success looks like, opposed to these feelings of anxiety that's going on in our minds. So I'm going to try something with you.
Okay.
And with you at home, please participate. Find a seat, get yourself comfortable, and close your eyes for me. Take a deep breath in and out. Now imagine you're backstage and you're about to go on stage to speak. You're in a perfectly chosen outfit. You look fantastic. Your hair is just right. Your shoes feel fantastic. And you hear your name called and you walk straight on the stage, purposeful, confident. Not too fast, not too slow, and you arrive at that podium. And you look out at that audience, and you see the smiling faces. Take a deep breath in, and you begin. You see everyone engaging in what you have to say. They want to learn. They're nodding their heads. They're interested in what you have to say. You can feel the warmth of the lights on your face, like a warm embrace. You finish speaking, you walk off stage, and you feel confident of what you just did. You feel excited that you did it, but you also feel calm. It's done. You finished. Open your eyes.
Wow. Great job. Great job, everybody. Wow.
Thanks. Yeah, and I hope that is something that you can do before you do a presentation to get yourself set up for success.
I think we can stew in the anxiety of the failure and all the things that could go wrong, and we don't spend enough time thinking about how well it could go.
Absolutely. So many people think physiologically that they are scared, but the same physiological responses in our body is the same responses that we have when we're excited.
Right.
So it's really just a positive mindset shift.
A shift.
Yeah.
So in the last 3 minutes of this episode,
Okay.
can you give us your top 3 pieces of advice and those call to actions that we can be doing at home?
Perfect. First, focus on the message. Focus on the sentence that you're talking about and delivering it as effective as possible. Don't think about the past on how you just sounded in the sentence before. How did that come across? Or, oh, I fumbled on that word a little bit. That's been in the past, right? Don't focus on the future of what if I make a mistake?
Right.
Really just deliver that message in the moment.
Okay.
Second thing you can do is record yourself. How we think we sound and how we think we look is not exactly how it looks and sounds. So if we record ourselves on our phone and watch it back, making practice real, like really say it how you would deliver it, you'll be amazed at what you see and how you can make changes and adjust.
Right. And it can be scary and uncomfortable at first, but just get over that. It's just you and your camera. You don't have to keep the video, but to get comfortable and keep that practice.
The ultimate safe space.
Yes,
Absolutely,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
And then finally, just make sure you have these escape routes. So if there is a mistake or something doesn't go as planned, you know where to go. So you have a clear outline. You got to know that beginning really, really confidently and that end really, really confidently, rather, so that you can skip to that end if need be. But these internal previews of what you're about to talk about and these internal summaries of what you just finished talking about, transitioning to the next thing, these are all so important of keeping on track. So you have this outline, you can just kind of skip to a summary and then move on.
Yes. Okay, great tips. And so if you could tell us one thing to do at home, what's the biggest takeaway, the call to action for more confident, powerful public speaking in our lives?
Absolutely. You may watch a YouTube video and think that you've gotten some insight from that. You may have taken a course in public speaking, and you may have a lot of experience public speaking, but you're not done.
Yes.
We can always continue to learn. So keep taking courses, keep working with a coach if need be, read articles so that you keep it fresh, you keep it polished, and just be the best communicator you can be.
Commit to lifelong learning.
That's right.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Joseph, for traveling and spending some time with us. And we're so excited for you to take some of these lessons, try them at home, share your experience with us on Instagram at @TheJessicaFlynn and on our YouTube channel. And tune in next time to Empowered. I'm your host, Jessica Flynn.